Welcome to Dr. Levski Gaming. My name is Sean, and today I wanted to introduce you to a new game that I've been playing for about a year. The game is called Tacticus, and it's a game set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Warhammer 40,000, it's basically a tabletop miniatures game that was started, I think, in the 80s and has been going for this long and growing constantly. It's a huge universe full of lots and lots of story, and it's evolved into video games. There's tons of novels to read from, and it just is a huge universe, and I highly recommend looking into it if it's something you might be interested in. Now, I've been playing the tabletop games since the mid-90s, and I've played a few video games here and there, but most of them haven't really caught my attention. But this one, being a mobile game, is kind of, useful to me since I have little time to play console games nowadays. This game actually really spoke to me because of the graphics, but then it's also a turn-based strategy game, which I actually really enjoy. And it reminded me a little bit of Hero Wars when I first started playing it, and so I really do enjoy the game. Now, this event that I'm currently showing you is the guild raids. So what this is you work with your guild to take down these high-level bosses. In this case, I'm attacking one of the defenders of the boss. So basically, there's a raid boss, and then there's two defenders of that raid boss. And so you can either attack the raid boss directly, or you can attack the defenders, which will weaken the raid boss, therefore making it easier for your guild mates to take them down. You can see the game board is a bunch of hexagonal tokens that you can walk across, and different tiles will also provide different tactical advantages. So sometimes you'll gain plus 50% damage, sometimes you'll take more damage by standing on barbed wire, for example. Barbed wire will stop the people on the foot from walking, but flyers can go right over it. So there's a lot of strategy involved, which I think is actually really interesting to me. This game mode I'm showing is called Onslaught. Basically, they keep sending waves and waves of Tyranids, which are these alien race of monsters, and they'll just keep attacking you until you beat all of the waves. In this case, there's 7 waves, and so it's kind of fun. You just kind of survive, and if your hero dies, you can get the next hero in that same faction, and you just keep going till you beat the event. And then you get some, I guess, for lack of a better word, soul stones for the hero of your choice. So it's a good way to build the heroes that you like. Now, the one thing I really like about this game is the character models in the character screen are very high res and 3D, and you can even rotate them and see them in action. It's actually really cool. And this is the character upgrade screen. So the character Revas here is a Tau battlesuit. You can see all the different stats there. They have equipment in the bottom left there. They have their stats on the bottom right. They have some attributes in the top right, those little icons. Their faction is on the top left, that icon below the gold. You can see their experience bar there in the middle, and then they have their special skills on the middle left and the middle right, those round circles with the 16 and the 15. Those are the skills. One is passive and one is active, and each hero has those. You can also see the power level in the middle right there, and then, this is the skill Cyclonic Ion Blaster and the Early Warning Override. The Early Warning Override is the active, and the other one is the passive. So you can see this for each hero, and I'll actually show all of the heroes at the end of the video just really quickly so you can see what the current character models look like. And then, there's the faction Tau Empire. As you can see there, I'm rotating the hero, and you can see his action. You can also see what it takes to rank up the hero through all the different ranks, from common, uncommon, rare, epic, and then finally at legendary. And those different ranks will determine how high you can rank up your hero. So it's important to keep collecting the hero orbs. Now, the arena is the kind of PvP light, and what I mean by that is you face the enemy team, but the enemy team in this case is just automated. So they do have an actual PvP, which is the tournament arena, which I'll show later. But this one, you're just automatically fighting the enemy team. So my best tip here is always let the enemy team come closer to you first, and then you can make your move to try and get the first strike on them. That seems to be the best way to take out the enemy team's arena. And you always get 3 options. Just try and pick the team that you think you have the best bet against. And as you do more and more wins, you'll unlock more and more chests. You'll see that at the before you start the arena fight. And you can do up to 15 attempts before you run out of attempts, and then you have to wait for them to recharge. Now the tournament arena is pretty cool. You actually get to pick 5 of your heroes and compete live against another person. And so this really takes the tactics up another notch. And I think they do this every week, and sometimes they change it up. They'll add in like buffs that you can get on the battlefield. Or they'll, like in this case, this week they're doing the anniversary event with Tyranids. So while you're fighting the enemy team, Tyranids are also spawning, attacking both of you. So it's adding a little bit more of a dynamic fight. And you can see the buffs there are on the battlefield. They'll allow your hero to get a shield for 1 turn, and also get a permanent buff until they die. So they have things like increasing melee damage, increasing health, armor, increasing the number of hits that you do. So it's a really cool way to test your tactics and test the way you know your heroes. It's a fun event. Sometimes it can be frustrating, especially if you get a string of really good players that you're fighting against. But you can also do practice in it too by doing the casual option. But basically the goal here is to kill all 5 of the enemy heroes and fill up those orbs at the top there until you get your 5th kill, and then you win. Pretty cool event, and I actually like that it's live PvP against someone else. It just really tests your skills. And you can see, unlike other game modes, this one actually has a timer on it because you're playing against a live person. They don't want you just sitting there forever. Now there is another game mode that I didn't show any video of, and that is the campaign. Now the campaign is story driven. It has some story in it. It's nothing special, but there is a campaign mode, which I do like. And you basically have to build up your heroes in order to progress through the campaign. And each campaign usually requires 3 specific heroes to always be used. So in most cases, you do have to level at least those 3 heroes to progress along in the campaigns. And then in order to unlock other campaigns, you have to unlock the 3 heroes that you need for it. So in this hero inventory screen here, you can see all the heroes that are currently available in the game, and I have it sorted by faction. So each faction has 5 heroes available to it. And Tyranids is the newest faction, which is going to be released, I think, tomorrow as of this recording. And then you can also sort it by power level, which it shows you from the highest power level to the lowest power level, and then the heroes that you don't have unlocked at the bottom. And then here are the items that are used to increase the equipment. There's the soul stones for the heroes that you have, or I guess they call shards, and then the orbs and stuff that you use to ascend them. And then the rogue trader shop is for when you max out a hero, and you can sell extra shards to spend in that shop, which is more towards the end game. I only have 1 hero max so far. And then the requisition drops are basically how you get new heroes outside of events. Basically, you'll get these scrolls that you can use to requisition a drop, and you can see there's the drop chance for the different heroes. And then you'll just use a scroll, and then you'll get something. Usually it's items used to increase a hero's power level, but occasionally you will unlock a hero, or if you already have the hero, it'll just be shards towards that hero. So in this case, I got epic chaos orbs, which are used to ascend heroes. In the settings screen, you can redeem codes. There's plenty available to use. Right now there's one for 1 Tacticus 1, which will get you some stuff. I show you there how to do it. And you go to your inbox and you can redeem those rewards, which are really nice. So keep lookout for any codes. A lot of times your guild mates will also tell you in the chat so you can use them. There is a friend code that if you wouldn't mind putting in my code, which is key62GEE, right there on the left of the screen. You can only do this once, so if you have another friend that you want to share it with, by all means, please do it for them. But if you wouldn't mind doing it for me, that would be great. We'll each get 100 Blackstone, which is really nice. And then these are all of the heroes and how they look and their animations. First up, we have the Ultramarines. And those are the first 3 that you'll get when you start the game, and everyone will get them. Next up, we have the Necrons, which are basically space robots. The next 5 we have here are Chaos, which are basically evil humans and demons. Back to the Ultramarines, these are the good guys, essentially. Those first 3 are the ones you unlock, and then the other 2 you can unlock just by playing the campaign. Next are the Astra Militarum, or Imperial Guard. These are basically just the humans. Next are the Orcs, which are basically space fungus. When you look them up, it's actually how they reproduce, is they're just like fungus. These are the Eldar, which are basically space elves. These are the Black Templars, which are another Space Marine chapter. Basically, they're augmented superhumans. In the game so far, you have Ultramarines, Black Templars, and Space Wolves as the Space Marine. And these are the Tau, which are another alien race. They are really good at shooting, but not so good at close combat. These are the Thousand Suns. They're basically psychers, so they do a lot of psychic damage or fire damage. These are the Adepta Sororitas, which are basically the female super soldiers. The Death Guard, these are basically diseased superhuman Space Marines turned chaos. The Space Wolves, which are basically space Vikings. The Dark Angels, which are another chapter of Space Marines that are in the game now. And last but not least, the Neurothrope, which is the first Tyranid hero to join the game as a playable character. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you think the game looks interesting, please give it a try. And as always, just play for free just to see if you like it. There's no need to spend money unless you want to.